Know me?
I don't.
Nope. My name is Miss Betty Ann, and I'm here to tell a story, not to read a story. And what's the difference between telling and reading?
Oh, telling means that you don't have any pictures.
That's exactly right. But what about pictures? Where are the pictures?
You can imagine they're just in your imagination.
They're in your imagination, and you know what? If you make the pictures up in your head, sometimes they're better than the pictures in the book. Really? So let's see. We needed to go over that. Now, my friend Betty, wherever she is, she's here somewhere, she told me about this book. And this is a story called The Country Bunny. Oh, there she is. And it was written in 1939. Do you know that that's older than me? Yes, that's older than me. Yes, sir. What? Oh, it's a new book. It's a new book. So every time they run out of books, they sell all the books, then they make a new batch. So it's still popular today, and your mommies are going to really like this book. Okay. It's called The Country Bunny and the Little Gold Shoes, and it was written by DeBose Hayward a long time ago. Once upon a time, I bet you think there's only one Easter Bunny. But it turns out that there is one Easter Bunny. He's called Grandfather Easter Bunny. But he has 5 helpers. Only 5. And because there's only 5, they have to be the swiftest bunnies. What does swift mean?
Helper?
Means
Quick.
Quick and fast. And they have to be wise. What does wise mean? Smart. They have to be clever, and they have to be kind.
I think Mindy on the shelf. I mean that.
Okay. Okay. So, who's telling the story here? Me. Okay. Okay. So they have to be swift. They have to be clever. They have to be kind. What else did I say? Oh, and wise. And where the bunnies live, the mommies and daddies say, if you behave yourself and you learn and you do good in school, when you grow up, you might get to be one of those bunnies that helps Grandfather Bunny. You might get to be an Easter rabbit. And all the bunnies hope that someday they'll get to be one of the helpers. Well, there was a little girl bunny. Her name was Cottontail. And she was the kind of bunny you see in our backyard. Nothing special. She was brown, and she had a little white tail. You ever see a bunny like that? Yeah. Well, she was kind of ordinary. Well, it happened that when she was maybe like in high school, one of the 5 bunnies that helped Grandfather Bunny, well, he got old and he got tired, and Grandfather Bunny was looking for a new bunny to help him. So, Cottontail, she took herself off to the Palace of Easter Eggs to try out because she wanted to get that job. And when she got there, all the big, white, fluffy bunnies with the pink ears and the pink noses, they said, what are you doing here? You're just a brown girl, little bunny. And there were jackrabbits there too. I don't know if we've ever seen a jackrabbit, but they have great big legs, and they can run really fast and hop really far. And they said, what are you doing here? You're a country bunny, and you're brown, and you're a girl. The little Cottontail, she felt it was mean. She felt really sad. And you know what? She didn't get picked. They didn't want her to be a helper. And that Jackrabbit Bunny said, you just go home, go get married and have bunnies. You could be a mommy bunny. That's what you should be. So she went home and time passed, and then she met a boy bunny. And she did marry him. And one day she found herself with 21 bunnies. Well, she was a very busy lady. She had to take care of 21 babies, and that was really hard. But as the bunnies grew up and they got to be your age, she started teaching them things. Now I'm going to tell you, you're going to pretend to be bunnies, and some of the mommies and daddies might have to help. Okay? Now listen closely and don't forget what I tell you. Okay? So you two bunnies, I'm going to give you a broom, and your job is going to be to sweep the house. Can you remember that? Your job is to what? Sweep the house. And you two bunnies, your job is going to be, forgot. You're going to do all the cooking. Can you remember that? And you are going to, you're going to make the beds, okay? She's going to help you. Okay, can you make the beds? So we got sweeping, we got beds, we got cooking. Well, if we're cooking, you two girls are going to wash the dishes. Okay? And you two are going to wash the clothes. And you two, well, this is really odd. But you two boys, you're going to do the sewing and the mending.
What?
I can't help that, but that's just how the story goes. And now we got, what's your name? Arden. And Bridger's going to help you. You are going to sing. You know, you're going to sing songs because you're going to make all the other bunnies who are working happy. Okay?
I like to sing songs.
Oni and Julian there are going to help you. You're going to dance. And you're going to make all the bunnies happy. And let's see. You two guys over here, you're in charge of the garden. Okay? The garden. You're going to do the garden.
It includes you, Sam.
And you two girls over here, you're going to paint pretty pictures to hang around the house. And that leaves one little bunny. That leaves you. You know what you're going to do? You're going to hold my chair when I go to sit down at the table. So all 21 bunnies had a job. And they learned to do it really well. And one day, oh my goodness. Can you help him with the chair? I didn't see you over there. I'm so sorry. I was short on bunnies anyway. And first time we ever told the story. So there you go. Remember that one. So anyhow, the bunnies were doing their jobs and doing their work, and they were kind of growing up. And one day there was a whole lot of excitement in the rabbit warren because you know what they heard? One of the Easter Bunny helpers was going to retire. And now Grandfather Bunny, he needed a new assistant. So Mrs. Cottontail, she says, well, let's go and see what the excitement's all about. And she took all her 21 bunnies and she went down to the Palace of Easter Eggs. And there was a whole lot of people there waiting for Grandfather Bunny to come out. Finally, the doors opened and Grandfather Bunny stepped out. And he said, all the bunnies who want to try out for this position, come down here into the circle and show me how you can run and jump and hop. And all the big white fluffy bunnies And all the jackrabbit bunnies, they came down and they started hopping and running and jumping and hopping and running and jumping. And then Grandfather Bunny said, you have showed me that you are swift and that you're clever, but you haven't shown me that you're kind and wise. So he's sitting there and he's looking over the crowd and he said, Mrs. Bunny over there, you certainly have a lot of children. Why don't you come up here a minute? And so Cottontail came up with all her bunnies all in a row. And he said, my, you must be one busy mommy. And she said, well, I was when they were babies, but I have them well trained now, and they can take care of the house as well as I can. Grandfather Bunny said, well, you are very wise if you can train 21 bunnies. And then he said, well, they all look so happy, and their ears stand up perfectly straight. That's impressive. And she said, in our house, there's no teasing, there's no whining, you get what you get, and right. So, and I must say, I'm very proud of my bunnies because they do keep their ears up nice and straight. And Grandfather Bunny said, well, to have such a happy home, you must be kind. It's too bad you can't be one of my assistant bunnies because you've been so busy at home with all these bunnies, you never had any chance to run and get strong and be fast. And Mrs. Bunny said, watch this. She clapped her hands, and all the bunnies, all her 21 children started running all over the place. And Mrs. Bunny, she ran after them. Like playing tag, you know? She tagged each one of them.
Yeah.
And pretty soon they were all back in the line in no time. And Grandfather Bunny said, well, now you're wise and you're kind and you're swift, but you can't be my bunny. You can't help me because who's going to take care of all your bunnies? And then she said, I got that covered. These two bunnies, they're going to, louder, sweep the house. And what are these two bunnies going to do?
Clean the clothes.
Clean the clothes. What are you doing?
No, she was talking to Maya. Oh. Maya.
What are you
You're
doing?
cleaning the clothes.
You're cleaning the clothes. What are you doing?
Cleaning the dishes.
The what? The dishes?
We were cleaning.
Oh my God. What are you doing, Emma? You're cooking? What are you two boys doing? Sewing, right. What are you doing? You're singing. What are you doing, Oni?
Being mean.
You're gonna dance.
She's dancing, right. What are you guys doing over here? Gardening. And you girls are doing what?
Paintings.
Painting. And do you remember what you're going to do? You're going to hold my chair when I go to sit down. It's an old-fashioned thing. Your mom will tell you that.
And be happy all the time and do electronics. Because I like electronics. That's super cool.
Anyway, Grandfather Bunny says, wow, that's, you can come. You can be my 5th bunny helper.
Oh.
Cottontail got picked. A plain, brown girl, mommy bunny, got picked to be one of the Easter Bunny's helpers. And guess what? That's only half of the book.
Oh,
But I'm not going to tell you the rest. I am not going to tell you the rest. Sometime, maybe when you go to the library or the bookstore, you can find this book and you can find out how Cottontail does as one of Peter Rabbit's assistants. Did you like my story?
Yeah.